Okay, essence directional control. This one's pretty simple, although it does have different levels. Hopefully the volume's okay. I'm not too sure because I've got this house fan that turns on when it's hot. Not that it's really hot, but essence directional control is the act of taking essence that forms in your core, one of two cores. But we're not going over that right now. Is the act of taking that essence and sending it somewhere on your body. So it can actually move to different places on your body, and it doesn't move through this context. It doesn't go through that pathway. Sometimes it kind of jumps. You know what I mean? So if you will it here, it's just going to go there. It doesn't go through this whole line. It can jump around. So if you're sending essence somewhere like here specifically or here specifically, it may actually end up being here and there, but not here and there, if that made sense to you. So it's not going to be in the mid forearm, and it's not going to be in the mid bicep. It'll just be maybe in the elbow, maybe in the shoulder, maybe in the fist area, right? So you don't want to overlook that, because that's a big deal. So moving forward, essence directional control, why would you want to do that? The reason is to saturate that area in essence, to yield the benefits of essence in that area. Essence, if you've gone over the fundamentals of essence and you've seen what it can do, how it affects the body, the circulatory system, how it affects the parasympathetic system, did I say that right, parasympathetic system? How it affects the endocrine system, how it affects the body overall, you're going to want those effects in those areas. And it's not always that those effects in their entirety will be in that specific area. It's more so that the effects are going to affect your entire body overall, but there are some effects that you would want in that specific area. So when you're generating essence at all, you're entering into an active state, right? And you're going to begin to realize those effects, and you're going to begin to utilize those effects whether you like it or not. You're going to yield to those effects. They're gonna affect you. You're not affecting them. I mean, you are, but they're going to affect you. You're gonna start to encounter a lot of different things going on, and you need to know what to do with all those different things. You're gonna have residual energies after the fact and during the fact. You're gonna have exposure after the fact and during the fact. You're gonna have a lot of different forms of instabilities. You're gonna have a lot of different forms of instabilities, like from shakiness to weariness to drowsiness. If you build up a lot of essence, and you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it, like you're trying to focus on sending it someplace, down into your legs or something, and you're not utilizing it, right? You're not sparking into a formulation, and you're not striking something, you're going to start yawning. If you just let the build go, you're going to start yawning. It's really strange. So I'm sure that has something to do with your endocrine system. I'm not certain, but we'll probably test that later. But anyway, essence directional control. Here's Bobby's going to help us out right now. So if I'm actually sending essence directional control into my fist, right? That's kind of a high tier of essence directional control. There's 5 different levels of it. We're not going to go over those. That's it on the page. If I'm sending it into my fist, I'm doing that with the intention of striking something, right? I am. So you're going to put it in your fist, you're going to strike, right? Or if you're going to put it into your elbow, you're going to strike, right? If you're putting it into your leg, right down here, you're going to take that stance, send it, and hopefully in the action, it's going to follow through and strike and stay in that leg. A lot of the times, essence, it doesn't like to dynamically, it doesn't like to stick in that spot, stay in that spot. It's gonna, as soon as you start moving, dissipate. So from the point here all the way through here, it's probably dissipated by that point, or it's reduced in potential. The capacity that your body has to hold that essence is important too. If your capacity is lower and you can only hold so much, and then through that dynamic movement, right, it's already dissipated down to nothing pretty much. So capacity is important. You don't want to have low capacity coming out here and trying to do dynamic inaction essence directional control with strikes. You want to practice your capacity, you want to practice your stability, you want to practice your interaction with residual and exposure to understand how it's going to affect you and work against that. You don't want to come out here and practice these things and let all these effects take advantage of you, and now you're yielding to them instead of them yielding to you. So essence directional control is done anywhere on the body. It starts in the core and you're going to send it, right? You're going to send it down, right? You're going to send it down, right? Right? You're going to send it down. right? You don't want to send it to your knee over here and then strike over here, because now there's nothing there, right? If you're not good at essence directional control, that's fine. Use essence normally. Essence naturally is an overture to the body, which means it's going to take over the body's entirety, right? In spatial at least. So it's going to go everywhere, is what I mean. So if you just generate a ton of essence, damn near to a deep build, right? There's a lot of sparking going on. You can use any part of your body, and it's going to have that effect over that part of your body to a smaller degree than if you were to send everything to that point on your body. So again, if you just send essence everywhere throughout your entire body, you might build up the potency in your elbow that you want, but you might not in regards to what you could achieve if you just sent it all to that elbow. You know, it really depends on your directional control. And again, there's different levels of directional control. There's capacity, there's essence flow, there's essence potency. The flow of your essence is the amount that you can generate in a short period of time. And it's a feeling. All this is a feeling. The potential, or the potency, of your essence is going to be the effect thereof, that amount of essence. So if your potency of essence is through the roof, but your flow is very, very low, that's fine. I mean, it could be. I mean, everything's fine, right? But you want to have high potency. Flow is almost not really important if you have high potency. But if your flow is suffering, well, wouldn't you want to make your flow better so that you could have an amazing potency and an amazing flow, right? So you just want to look into those things. But capacity is important. If your flow is amazing, but you have no capacity to hold all that essence, and you're just sparking all day very easily, you're not going to yield any effect from that high flow. There's no distinguishable, there's no difference. It's just kind of a waste of essence. If it's just blowing right out of you, you're going to incur a lot of instabilities. You're going to incur a lot of residual that is very, very shaky and unstable residual. If you have high capacity and you can maintain a lot of essence and a lot of energy, you're not going to deal with so much of exposure, so much of residual, so much of these negative things. And they're not always negative. They're not always negative. A lot of the times they're positive. It just really depends. It just really depends on where you're at in your practice and what you can utilize through the aspect of apply or deny. What you can utilize, what you can recognize, and how you bottleneck things, how you move things around. And that's why essence directional control is important, because if you can send essence to all the spots on your body that you would want to send it to get things done through dynamic movement, you're going to benefit from that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.